Hello and welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Stephanie Rivers. What would you do if you were forced to stare down the barrel of a handgun while someone threatened to pull the trigger? Would you reason with the gunman, beg for your life, or fight it out? Members of the Panama City, Florida School Board know what they would do, and so does everyone else who saw the video of the entire event that was recorded and televised on a local news station and nationally. Some people say the security guard who shot the gunman, forcing the gunman to later commit suicide, is the hero. But if anybody plans to hand out medals for bravery, don't forget about Ginger Littleton. She's the woman who stood up to the gunman with nothing but her purse to defend herself. Littleton, who also is a member of the school board, had left the room just minutes earlier because the gunman had ordered all the women to leave and all the men to stay behind. But Littleton sneaked back in and hit the gunman with her purse in an attempt to knock the gun out of his hand. She missed. He scolded her and then he ordered her out of the room again. Let's just say it wasn't her day to die. While I commend Littleton for putting her life on the line for her colleagues, evidently her colleagues would not have done the same had they been in her situation. It's a sad testament to the fact that chivalry is dying, and when it counts, most women have the guts to do what men won't. Yes, I said it, and I realize that the actions or inaction of one individual or group of people is not always indicative of the group they represent. The Panama City shooting is the latest example that leads me to my aforementioned conclusion. You see, Littleton already was out of harm's way after the gunman told her and the other women to leave the room. She could have gone outside and waited for police like everybody else, but instead Littleton had the guts to come up with her own plan, and she took action. Yes, she could have had a better plan, or a better aim at least, but it was enough to distract the gunman, and that distraction was ample opportunity for one or all of the 6 male colleagues to bum rush the guy. The fact that he didn't shoot Littleton and allowed her to walk away unharmed again was further indication that the men in the room could have taken their fate into their own hands and come out victorious, or not. But do something, for God's sake. Just don't sit there like deer in headlights. Even when the gunman, Clay Duke, turned his attention to the superintendent and blamed him for firing Duke's wife from her teaching job, the superintendent half-heartedly spoke up for himself, pleading for Duke not to shoot him. As someone who regularly comes to the defense of others, I'll be the first to admit that I've never had to rescue someone from being held hostage by a person brandishing a weapon, let alone save myself. A woman was being verbally abused in a restaurant, I assume by her husband. Lots of people, including other men, witnessed the husband berate his wife in front of everyone, and it went on for about 15 minutes. He cursed at her. He even told her that she was stupid in front of us and even in front of their daughter. None of the men spoke up, but just in case they were thinking about speaking up, I waited 5 more minutes, and then I couldn't hold it any longer. I told him that I wasn't going to listen to him berate his wife a minute more, and if he insisted on speaking to her like that, I was going to have the restaurant manager call the police. And what did he do? He shut up and he sat down. Too bad none of the men had the guts to do what I did. And when I told some of my male friends about the incident, they told me that I was crazy to get involved. They questioned me about the man's stature. They focused on what ifs. What if he had hit me? What if he had had a gun and shot me? The possibilities are endless as to what could have happened. I know I spoke up, and that's all I can be concerned with. Littleton did the same thing. She did what she had to do. If more people would do what's right instead of worrying about what if, people would be less inclined to misbehave. Chivalry would have a better chance at survival, and the world might be a better place. To find out more about the things that I care about, go to the written version of my journal. It's at eurweb.com. Thanks, and have a super day.